What's up, chat room? Boy, Paul, you aren't kidding, buddy. What up, chat? Appreciate everybody jumping in there. B. Al is in there. Super Deuce is in there. Ron the Materator holding it down. Tyrone Graves. Paul. Fargo Raider is in there. Robert Pena, Raider Rue. Tiger Raider. Michelle Sweat. Which just seems like it was yesterday. Hooligan Nation is in there. Tiger Raider is in there. Miss Ebony Graves is in there. CPA Joel. What's up, CPA Joel? Tiger Raider is in there. Yoshi is there. The Spotlight Raiders is in there. What's going on, brother? We appreciate you all very, very much for joining us for episode 275 of Raiders Fan Radio. Little podcast selfie in here, but we'll make do because we got the best chat room there is. All right, here we go. 275 of Raiders Fan Radio.
Jackpot, baby. Raiders Fan Radio.
Oakland, L.A., Oakland, Vegas, Raider Nation, wherever, forever. You got your old Uncle Mosh and Raiders Fan Radio from Murph's Man Cave, taking a lighter journey into the dark side. Sit back, put your feet up, pop a top, and enjoy the ride. Here we go!
Look left, look right, collecting hop, a leaping tap, touchdown!
We miss you, we love you, and we'll see you in the Hall of Fame.
When you have great coaches, then after you have great coaches, you get great players, you have a great organization, and you tell them one thing, just win, baby.
Way up the middle, intercepted Filipiano at the 50, time running down, Oakland football, and I think Oakland victory.
Oakland Raiders have scored on the most zany, unbelievable, absolutely impossible dream of a play.
Well, I love this team. I think this team can win. I think this team can win.
You are listening live to Raiders Fan Radio, hosted by Murph, Uncle Mosh, and Swag Jeff. Take it away, guys.
Why? Thank you, Brent Musburger. What is up, Raider Nation? Your buddy Murph back once again for what we trust, or I guess just I trust. Because I'm in here alone will be a fantastic episode of Raiders Fan Radio, episode number 275 of Raiders Fan Radio, coming to you live from Murph's Fan Cave. And I appreciate everybody that is joining us live on the YouTubes tonight at youtube.com/Raiders Fan Radio. Anthony Provencio is in there. Michelle is in there. Paul is in there. Big Bass Raider is in there. Vibrator. What's up, baby? Ebony Graves is in there. Tiger Raider is in there. Paul, as I mentioned, Yoshi is in there. Spotlight Raider Talk is in there. Robert Pena is in there. Michelle says you got this, Murph. Thank you, Michelle. Appreciate you and appreciate the show we did yesterday. So we did episode 274 of Raiders Fan Radio yesterday. Michelle and Jeff and I did. And then we're back here tonight to do 275. I say it's a selfie, but it's really not going to be a selfie because we're going to, of course, talk to the most amazing chat room in all of Raider Nation, but this is a Sea of Fans show, so we're just going to, I'm not going to pontificate much. We're just going to get into your emails and voicemails because we didn't have time to get to them yesterday, so we're going to do those, and we got some fantastic emails and voicemails tonight. It's like literally the murderer's row. It's going to be hard to find the best one of the best, which we award a Sizzler Award because we've got some absolutely fantastic ones coming in tonight and can't wait to share those with you here in just a little bit. So as I mentioned, you can find us on the YouTube at youtube.com/Raiders Fan Radio every Wednesday night at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern. You can also find us on the audio podcast. And you can find us on any audio podcast service just by searching Raiders Fan Radio. And we appreciate you very much in that way. And we appreciate our good friends at Fansided and Just Blog Baby, who kind of enable us to be able to do that and give us a platform and generate advertising opportunities for us. And with that advertising, and then of course any of the direct donations that we get from you guys, you are so kind and so generous with your resources, and we appreciate that very much. And with all those resources, we give all that stuff away to our nonprofit foundation, which is the One Nation Foundation, and we are going to present a big old fat check for $10,000 to the Bolitnikovs next. I keep saying next month. It's next week. It's like coming up, like right around the corner. We're going to be out there in Vegas and can't wait to do that. And we appreciate you, Raider Nation, your generosity. We are just the vessels. You guys are the ones that make it all happen. And we cannot thank you enough. So very, very much. All right. So I mentioned this 275, mentioned we're going to do Sea of Fans, but we still got to do an episode number. So even though this is just a selfie, we still got to take an episode number and tie it back to something significant within Raider Nation. That's always my best friend Swag Jeff's duty there to do that. But in his absence, it kind of fell on me. So here's what I got for you, Raider Nation, tonight to celebrate 275. All right. So 275, there was a few of them that I came. Oh my gosh, the donations tonight. Fargo Raider, T1700 just win, baby. That's awesome. Appreciate you very much, Josh. For that very kind donation. 100% of that money goes to our nonprofit, the One Nation Foundation, and he referencing the T1700 because he has a great graphic. If you go onto the Twitter, if you follow me on Twitter at all, you can just find the different things I like and retweet and all that stuff. So he made a great graphic of the Terminator of Davante Adams with like a half Terminator skull. It's really, really badass. So definitely go check that out. All right, so 275. So I've got a few of them for you. So here's what's fun. So did you guys know that the Raiders once had a 275-pound fullback? His name was Alex Daniels. He played in 2010. Originally, he was a defensive lineman, but when he was with the Raiders, Tom Cable converted him and decided he wanted to put him in at fullback. So we had a 275-pound fullback during the preseason of 2010. So that's kind of fun. He never played a game, and they switched him back to defensive end and then let him go on an injury thing. But anyways, at one point we had a 275-pound fullback. But here's a fun one for you. 275. You know that big, giant video board that you see outside of Allegiant Stadium? So when you're driving by the stadium and the outside LED screen, that big projection, like it's really cool. You drive by the stadium and you can see like highlights and stuff of the game and all that kind of stuff, or whatever the Raiders are announcing or whatever. That's 275 feet long. So there's another little fun fact for a 275. But here's the one I really want to land on, because we love to do like team stats. We love to do player stats. And so here's my favorite 275 of this week. The Raiders, when we played Seattle, okay, after that game, we became the second team since 1990 to have 275 passing and 275 rushing yards in a single game. Pretty freaking cool. You know, we've been talking a lot about, and I do have some more stats I'm going to get to tonight about the significance of what Davante Adams and what Josh Jacobs is doing and sprinkling Derek Carr, because someone's got to throw the football, right? The significance and the impact of what this offense is doing. So anyway, so that's a big deal. So that other team that did it since 1990 was 2012. Alex Smith and Frank Gore torched the freaking Buffalo Bills. So pretty rarefied air for the Raiders, the offensive production and now even defensive. And again, we're going to get to that here in just a minute. But before we do all that, we got to get to some contact information. So let's go ahead and check in with I don't even know where the contact info is. I've got to run the boards here while Jeff is not. Here we go. I've got it here. There we go. So now let's check in with the dulcet tones of Uncle Mosh as he tells us where you can find us. Tells you where you can find us. I don't know, whatever.
Woo! Hey, Raider Nation! You got your old Uncle Mosh here with an updated contact info. So sit up, zip up, shut up, and pay attention. You can call us at 909-345-3346, or as Murph would say it, 909-345-3346. How about emailing me? You want to email me? Email me at show@RaidersFanRadio.com. Or what about reaching out to us on some of that social media stuff Swaggy likes? Try Facebook at Raiders Fan Radio Podcast, the Twit at Twitter at Raiders Fan Radio, Insta something, Instagram at Raiders Fan Radio, the tiki-tiki-taki-talk, TikTok at Raiders Fan Radio, or what about the Twitch? Some of you out there twitching. Anyway, Twitch at Raiders Fan Radio. Or if you don't like that, go to the YouTube. America, go to the YouTube. YouTube.com/Raiders Fan Radio. Oh my God, if that wasn't enough, go to your podcast provider and search Raiders Fan Radio. Holy crap, that was a lot.
Good. It's not hard to hit that when you're in here by yourself. Yeah, there we go. All right, so here at the top of the show, we don't do props, we don't do shout outs. We like to give a little bit of respect. Nothing wrong with props and shout outs, but we're Italian, so we like to give some respect.
Murph, Swaggy J, Nation, it's time for a little respect. You know, respect ain't bought, it ain't sold, it ain't demanded, it ain't negotiated, it's earned. And without blowing smoke or giving shameless plugs, we want to say salute and much respect to the following folks.
Whoops, wait.
Hey, all right, here we go.
It's not nearly as fun when I'm in here alone, but anyways.
That still is our favorite button, though, man. I love to push that button. Hooray.
All right. I wish I had the press the damn button nerd. Well, gosh darn it, where are all these damn things at? Where's the press the damn button nerd? Here we go. It's here somewhere. Here we go.
Just press the damn button, nerd.
There we go. So at least I can press that button. And I let it push the high pitch button. That's our new favorite button for sure. All right. So here at the top of the show, to give some respect, I want to give respect to all of you. On these podcast selfies, I always, I've never been like, I don't know. I don't want to get into the weeds on it, but like the idea of like doing it by like just sitting here and just espousing my opinions and thoughts and all that kind of stuff. It just doesn't feel right. Which is why we designed this show to be interactive and to really be conversational. So thank you to those of you in the chat, because that's what you bring tonight. And those of you that show up, you show up each and every week, and we have so many regulars, but we also have so many new participants in the chat. And since we've been doing the thing with Silver and Black today, and like all these different platforms that have helped grow our audience and helped grow our show and listeners and all that, you guys show up each and every week, and I cannot appreciate you and thank you enough, because it's and I think and you can trust that that's not just let me just throwing out words. That's genuine, and that comes from, and I can speak on everyone's behalf, going back to Sonny, going back to Uncle Mosh, and of course for Jeff and Michelle and myself. Like, we just cannot appreciate you all enough and what you do to support Raiders Fan Radio and support the One Nation Foundation and all that stuff. It's just it's always beyond flattering, and it's humbling the way that you guys hook us up and help us out with what we do. And so thank you. All right, let's see. So I'm going to go. I've got a new fun little soundbite here for you. Okay, and I got to remember where I put it. So this is fun. So this is we've got it. We like to do news, right? And so we did most of all the news last night, but there's some new news to get to tonight, and some more stats that we were a little bit of a time crunch yesterday, so I couldn't really get to them. So let's go ahead and jump into some more news and jump into some stats, and what a concept. Hey, let's talk about the Raiders.
Man, I've got certain information, all right? Certain things have come to light, and, given the nature of all this new shit, this could be a lot more complex. I mean, it might not be just such a simple,
What in God's holy name are you blathering about?
Well, I'll tell you what I'm blathering about. I've got information, man. New shit has come to light.
There was a team that was 2-7 that we were burying and saying their coach should be fired, who's now rattled off 3 straight wins and has as much offensive talent on the roster as maybe any team in the NFL. The Las Vegas Raiders are hot. Come on. And they're hot again. This last year they went on one of these runs. If you remember last year, Rich Bisaccia came in as the interim coach. Everyone buried him. And this was them last year. They rattled off 4 straight, including a Week 18 win in dramatic fashion on Sunday night over the Chargers, which got them into the playoffs. I love what we're seeing out of Derek Carr right now. I love what we're seeing out of Josh Jacobs. Devontae Adams is playing better than any wide receiver in football the last few weeks. And their upcoming schedule, they've got the Rams on Thursday night. The Rams look like the zombie Rams. I can't even recognize some of the players on the roster.
Zombie Rams.
Yep.
They play the Patriots, who we're going to have Matthew Judon in a bit, are desperate for victories also, but it's Josh McDaniels versus Bill Belichick. One team losing games 2 in a row, another team having won 3 in a row. Then they got the Steelers, who are still playing with a rookie quarterback and a bunch of rookies. That's going to be on Christmas Eve. The Raiders, they caught fire, maybe a little too late, or maybe not late enough. This is maybe how they're doing it. They're peaking at the right time. I'm all in on this Vegas run right here.
Roll those dice, Peter.
Especially when everybody was firing Josh McDaniels less than a month ago.
Yeah, I love that.
All right, so Ron the Materator says every time GMFB gets on board, the Raiders blow it. They jinx us. Well, I think it was a little, it was tentative at best, and at least Peter Schrager's, giving the Raiders some flowers. But here's the reason I set it up with this is that, what the Raiders are doing right now, and this is one of the more fascinating Raider seasons to me in a long time, and here's why, is that, we're still 2 games away from being at 500. But the team is doing unprecedented things, not only in terms of Raiders history, but in NFL history. For those of you that heard the show from yesterday, and the pod's up live now, so you can go back and check out the audio version if you're an audio listener, we ran down a lot of Josh Jacobs stats. Josh Jacobs is in company with Jim Brown, Walter Payton, I know he's taboo to mention nowadays, but O.J. Simpson, he is in rarefied air, NFL history, in terms of what his accomplishments have been already in this season. And now Devontae Adams is doing the same things. He's starting to show, well, not starting to show up, but he's starting to show up in the record books in terms of setting himself or putting himself in that conversation with the greatest of all time, okay? And then them collectively are putting themselves in those conversations. And then, there's this guy, Derek Carr, that throws, Josh the football at times and every time to Devontae Adams. So it's very interesting the way that this season has gone on. So I don't think that should get lost on us, is that, yes, the record is not what we want it to be. Yes, it's all it's going to take is a bummer against Pittsburgh on Christmas Eve to take us maybe out of this whole thing. But what they're accomplishing and what they're doing, it's not about stats. It's not about moral victories. I understand, and I'm not trying to explain away or putting lipstick on a pig or trying to polish this turd. I get it, man, where we're at in this season and the context. But let's still, at least within that, accepting that and what our fate was early on in this season, and there's nothing we can go back and do to change it. At least let's lock into what the positive things are, because those are the Raiders that are, not the Raiders that aren't. And you hear us say that all the time. I'm going to choose to root for the Raiders that are. And right now, this is what the Raiders that are doing. Now listen to this stuff, guys. This is the first week, being this last win, since week 16 of the 2018 season, when the Raiders won and all 3 other AFC West teams lost. How many times have we seen our division go down and we have an opportunity to make a big jump and we crap the bed, right? So that's something positive that has happened big for the Raiders. The Raiders had lost 21 straight versus the Chargers when going down by double digits before overcoming a 10-0 deficit. The last win, which is this last Sunday, last win was 34-31 in overtime on September 28th, 2003. When Valerie and I were watching that game at the Gold Strike and the Raiders are down 10, I'm just about going, well, oh well. At least we were in a cool place to watch the game. Because that's what we've been conditioned to think that's going to happen. But that's not what's happening now. They've changed. Teams since 1991 to win back-to-back games in the same season, despite turning it over 2 or more times in the first quarter in both games. Okay, since 1991, the 2022 Raiders are the most recent to do that. The Colts did it in 2001. The Rams did it. No, excuse me. The Colts did it 2014, Rams in 01, and then the Steelers in 1992. Okay. The Raiders were 1-9 from 2004. So post Gruden 1, the Raiders were 1-9 from 2004 to 2021 when turning the ball over 2 or more times in the first quarter. Now we've won the last 2 weeks turning the ball over in the first quarter. We're doing unprecedented things. Again, I know the start was not what we wanted it to be. A lot of us watched the Raider team shit the bed in Nashville live, front freaking row behind the Raider bench. It was awful. We were down so bad after the Titans handed us our third loss. But look at the things we've started to do since then. And Raider Nation, I can't tell you enough about how at least that is encouraging as a team. All right. Now that's what the team is doing. Now let's get into some of these individual stats. Now I read you Josh Jacobs last night. So again, I'm not going to redo all that again. So if you want to hear it, go back and listen to the last episode, the significance of what Josh Jacobs is doing. But I will give you one stat that I missed last night. Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, collectively had 35.7 scrimmage yards for the Chiefs last year. Diggs and Singletary for the Bills had 35% of the yards from scrimmage last year. You know what Josh Jacobs has this year by himself? 35.8% of all the Raiders' yards this year. Josh Jacobs is absolutely setting the world on fire. And I will say this, anybody out there that ever checks out our show media-wise and has a vote in this stuff, if we don't start hearing Josh Jacobs as part of the MVP conversation, it's 100% a slight against him. And yeah, I get it that the Raiders aren't winning. And I know that thing typically goes to a quarterback, but you tell me a quarterback that's absolutely dominating this year. It ain't Mahomes. It ain't Josh Allen. It's certainly not Aaron Rodgers or Tom Brady. So you tell me which one of the quarterbacks out there right now, of the prominent quarterbacks in the NFL, are completely dominating and are absolutely, maybe Jalen Hurts. Maybe Jalen Hurts you could put in that conversation to say that he's hands down the best quarterback in the NFL and likely the MVP winner this year. That is fair to me. Outside of that, it's Josh goddamn Jacobs. And because of everything that he's doing, not only for the Raiders and not only for the significance of his impact to the team, but what he's doing in comparison, again, to the entire history of the goddamn NFL, man. So it needs to be part of the conversation. At a minimum, he needs to be part of the conversation. Dude's going to run for 2,000 yards this year. Yeah, I know we got 17 games to do it, but he's going to run for 2 this year. The Raiders are averaging 5.17 yards per carry this season. You know what the franchise record is for the Raiders? They ran for 4.95 in 2010. Michael Bush and freaking, Darren McFadden, anybody? So again, we're setting precedent. Josh Jacobs and Devontae Adams have accounted for 61% of the Raiders' yards from scrimmage. That's the second biggest share for Raiders teammates ever, only behind Clem Daniels and Art Powell in 1963. These two guys are literally the best combination the Raiders have ever seen. And we're talking, how many combinations have we had that were great? I don't know. I'm trying to rattle them off in my head, but if you go wide receivers, it's Branch and Biletnikoff. You could go Garner and freaking Jim Brown. You could go a bunch of different directions in it with combo players. These guys are the best ever. The only Raiders to have at least 4 games with 120 plus yards receiving and 2 plus touchdowns in their careers with the franchise. Okay. Tim Brown had 9. Tim Brown was a Raider for 19 freaking years or whatever it was. He did it 9 times. Cliff Branch did it 6. Art Powell did it 5. Devontae Adams has already done it 4 times. Devontae Adams now has, and by the way, anybody that said, Brett Favre, that said that Devontae Adams' production was going to fall off when he became a Raider. Devontae Adams now has 4 games with 100 plus receiving yards and 2 plus receiving touchdowns in 2022. That's the most such games in a season in Raiders history. Devontae Adams is the 6th player to have 120 plus yards receiving, 2 plus touchdown catches 4 times in a season. No one has done it 5 ever and he's going to end up being the first one. Cooper Kupp did it last year. Devontae did it the year before that. T.O. did it in 2002. Roy Green did it in 1984, and Bobby Mitchell did it in 1962. The only Raider players with two games in a season with 140 yards receiving versus the same opponent. Devontae Adams, 2022 versus the Chargers. Art Powell did it in 64 against the Broncos. Art Powell did it again in 63 the year before. Devontae has 7 touchdown catches of 30-plus yards per season. That's the most for any Raiders player since at least 1991. The only ones close are Amari Cooper had 5 in 16. Tim Brown had 5 in 1995. It's bananas, the kind of output and production that we are having. Okay, and I know it's not all down to stats, and I understand the column on the left needs to be bigger than the column on the right. But considering that we were dog shit early in the season for the column on the left, we've got to take it where we can get it. And right now, the Raiders are on freaking fire. Derek Carr and Devontae Adams have connected for 9 touchdown passes this season on passes with 15-plus air yards. The next highest duo is Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown with 6. Raiders quarterbacks to throw multiple touchdowns and now we're on to Carr stuff. Raider quarterbacks to throw multiple touchdown passes in 5 straight games in the same season. No one has ever done 6. Carr has now done it twice in 2022 and 2020. The next 2 on the list, Rich Gannon did it once in 2001, and Plunkett did it in 1986. So, I mean, it's absolutely unreal. Now, for those of you out there that are like, you Carr stan, you Carr, whatever you want to call me, whatever. I've been called them all. I've been called the Kardashian. I've been called a hater. I've been called a bootlicker. I've been like both sides of the thing. But ultimately, I'm right down the middle. I'm Mr. Gray area over here because it's, there is no black and white to this thing. We can be critical. And you heard me ramble on about that last week. But we can be critical of the guy and we can support the guy relentlessly at the same time. So just for anybody that's curious, here's a bad one for you. Raiders quarterback Derek Carr struggled on 3rd down in the first half, completing 1 of 5 passes for 14 yards and an interception. Carr has a 59% completion percentage on 3rd down this season, and that ranks 21st out of 34 qualified quarterbacks. All right, so there you go. So there's some Raiders. Whew, I'm telling y'all. How about this too? While we're at it, while we're on the stats game here, I'm gonna spit a few more at you, and then I'm gonna take a breath, and we're gonna get into Sea of Fans because more of you and less of us is a good thing. Let's jump to the other side of the ball. It was rough, right? It has been rough on defense this year. It had been rough on the defensive line, especially on the interior. That young man, number 55, Chandler Jones, finally decided to come play football. But oh yeah, by the way, he's the AFC Defensive Player of the Week. Why? Because PFF has him with 11 pressures on Sunday, his most in a game since he also had 11 in week 6 of 2015 versus the Colts. Sacks in the first 11 games by the Raiders, not named Max Crosby in 2022. We've had 5.5. Sacks against the Chargers by Raiders not named Max Crosby, 5. Amazing that the rest of the defensive line is starting to show up. I think Tillery has had a huge impact on this team, and his ability to not only get that interior pressure, but to start to suck up blocks and allow Max and Chandler to get loose. I'm telling you guys, we got a lot to look forward to. All right, last thing I'll give you one more stat here, and then we'll do Sea of Fans. Let me find my dang Sea of Fans music here before we go. Okay, here we go. Now I can play it. Okay, Raiders with 3+ sack game in the last 20 seasons. So the last 20 years, how many Raiders have gotten 3 sacks in a game? Well, it's happened only 8 times. All right, chat room, who do you think it is? Well, of course, we had Chandler Jones do it on Sunday. Before that, Max Crosby. Max Crosby did it once against the Broncos in 2021. Max Crosby also did it against Cincinnati, if you remember that game, in 2019. Before that, you got to go for the one who should not be named that wears 52. He did it against Denver in 2015. Remember this guy? Cameron Wembley did it twice. Did it once in 2011 against the Chargers, and then also did it again in 2011 against the Chiefs. Tommy Kelly did it in 2005 against the Chiefs. And then to wrap it up, the last player to get 3 sacks in the last 20 years, Warren Sapp did it against the Tennessee Titans. All right, I'm going to grab a breath here, and let's jump in to the Sea of Fans mailbag.
Fading, looking. He's under the gun. He's fired. He throws. It is.
All right, appreciate everybody's in the chat room tonight, joining us at youtube.com/Raiders Fan Radio. Fargo Raider is in there. Michelle Sweat is in there. Paul is in there. Ron the Materator is in there. He says, Warren Sapp. I know, right? Anthony Provencio is in there. Hooligan Nation is in there. Appreciate you, Hooligan Nation. Fargo Raider's in there. Chevy Silver Raider, Big Bass Raider, Fargo Raider, Animal Mother, Raider Roo, Raider Born Rico. We're going to hear from Rico in a minute. Mojo is in there. Animal Mother is in there. Paul is in there. Paul. Big Bass is in there. Tyrone Graves is in there. Custom Cali Tools is in there. Appreciate you. Appreciate Jesse Cardenas, Black Tide Raider. Oh my gosh, we got so many of our good friends and folks in here, and we appreciate you. Mojo says RFR more than once this week. Nice. Hey man, so not only we got that's whatever. There's going to be three things. So last night, which was awesome, it was in here with Michelle and Jeff. So we did that. Then you got me tonight, but more of you again, which I can't wait to jump in here to in a second. But then also I'll be on the Silver and Black Today show tomorrow and going to join Mo Moten is back and feeling healthy. And so I look forward to doing a show again with Mo. And of course, Scott Gilbranson is our leader there and we'll host the show. And so I look forward to jumping in with those two guys and talking about us silencing the Lambs, right? As we go in there and hopefully take the freaking Rams out in a big way. Oh yeah, Aaron Donald is out and Baker Mayfield is going to be your starting quarterback. Like, speaking of sacks, like Max and Chandler ought to get loose a bunch tomorrow. We had a question earlier about Waller and Renfro. So if you're not aware, Waller and Renfro are back, but I don't think that they're going to get them ready in time to play tomorrow night. So we likely won't see them until we take on the Patriots on Sunday back in Allegiant Stadium. So, but those guys are back and healthy, and so that's a good thing for this Raider team. And again, all that stuff I just talked to you guys about, all the amazing accomplishments, oh yeah, it's been without two of our best players on offense. So I'm going to trust that this thing is going to go nuts here right away. It's not going to take long for this thing to get going. All right. I mentioned more of you and less of us is a good thing, and you can jump in and you can participate with Raiders Fan Radio a multitude of ways. My glasses are all crooked. A multitude of ways. One is to join us in the chat room live, or you can call the show at 909-345-3346. That's 909-345-3346. You can join us that way. And if we play your voicemail on the show 3 times, you can become a made man or a made woman.
Good man,
bitches.
Good man, bitches.
So you can get made in there, like so many of our good friends in the chat room are. Ray Love in there says, respect Murph. Respect back to you, my friend. I appreciate you. And then Paul says, get a pen real quick. Yeah. So I'm going to tell you guys what the email address is. I told you the phone number, 909-345-3346. Play your message 3 times. You become a made man or made woman. If we read your email an indefinite amount of times, you can become a made man or a made woman. And to get us an email, somebody, if you don't mind, Paul, while you're writing this down, if you could just type it in 1 letter at a time in the chat. So you can send us an email at show@RaidersFanRadio.com. So it's show, SHOW at RaidersFanRadio.com. There you go. Yeah, thank you very much for that, Paul. I appreciate that. So send us an email, and he's doing it. That's funny. All right, so let's check in. That's so funny. All right, let's go ahead and jump in and see who we've got here. Starting off, and speaking of Fargo Raider, we're going to start off with Fargo Raider. Bugsy Raider's in there, says salute back at you, my friend. Greetings and salutations, Sultan of Swag and the magnanimous Murph. Now I know I've heard of Country Fried, maybe even Kentucky Fried, but now you've seen Devontae Fried. The barbecue shack was closed, but the Taminator Smokehouse was smoking DBs. Ankle breaking good. Damn, it feels good to be a Raider. And as the kitty said, it's definitely been a tough titty this season, but right now the milk is good. Tillery came in and bitch slapped the interior of the D-line to wake him up and even caused enough havoc for Houdini, a.k.a. Chandler, to get some sacks. To quote Big Corey 00, Bible beater Carr is out here throwing beams to the bane of ankles, Adams on the Reggie. And he's got Mac Hollins, a.k.a. Mac 10, out here looking like a real number 2 receiver. While I may give McZiggy some grief for their moves, that's funny. I think you shipped them is what the kids say. McZiggy some grief for their moves. They're already ahead of both Del Rio and Gru for season 1. So overall and so far, so meh. Now, Raider Nation, hear me when I say I ain't scared of no damn buddy. JJ is running like they declined his 5th-year option, and he took that personal. Adams out here snatching souls while Carr is silently watching the criticism quiet down yet again. Just effing win, baby. Freezing Menards off in the land of ice and snow. Fargo Raider. Appreciate you, Fargo. All right, next up here, we've got Silver and Black Mac, I think. Let's see. So salute RFR, salute nation. Briefly, let's keep it going, fellas. Congratulations on playing complimentary football at its finest. About time. Damn. Good to see more than one player impose their will. Sherbert was sacked on the eye patch near midfield. Love the effort. Once again, spilled everything out of pure enjoyment. I love it. He gives us like a play-by-play rundown of his game day experience. Can't say enough about the respect for the Raiders shield in the locker room. Love to see it. Salute. Yeah, that's really cool, man, how they no one stands on the shield in the locker room. If you've been able to tour Allegiant Stadium, which if you haven't done it yet, I would highly recommend it. It's amazing. And yeah, there's a big giant Raiders shield on the carpet there in the middle of the locker room, and no one stands on it. And when you go through for the tour, they've actually got it roped off. But for the players, when they gather up to do their breakdown at the end and stuff, no one stands on there. All right, so he says this. 1, got to go with these 3s right now. 3-game win streak, 3 3-word phrases. 2, Jones, 3 sacks. Carr, Adams, Jacobs, Hobbs, Harmon, Max. 3, commitment to excellence, Silver and Black, just win, baby. Hope everyone enjoyed the barbecued chicken served up in my crib. We had Caribbean jerk barbecue with loaded potatoes shaped like Keenan Allen's head. So soft, if you shake the chicken, it fell off the bone. Delicious, very delicious. Looking forward to lamb chops with butter, garlic, broccoli Thursday. Truly, RFR Nation, I'm proud to see effort and not excuses. Let's ride this momentum into the playoffs and don't look back. Salutations from the Silver and Black. And then he follows it up with, Raiders! Sorry, I'm playing a little injured on the voice today. I gotta get out there. There you go. Appreciate you. Play the stuff. All right, here we go. Next up, we've got Daniel Mangus, the potty mouth Mangus. Dear RFR, what an effing win. We kicked the dog shit out of the Dolts. Raider Nation barbecue chicken on me. Chargers fans are salty. And the Muppets of KC look like the Muppets of KC took a fat L. Effing losers. Now we control our destiny. I've been saying it all week. Our playoff push has officially started. We have the Rams, Patriots, Steelers, Niners, Chiefs, and 10-7 is very alive. I'll say it once and I'll say it again. How do you want to feel in December? Our push has begun. Let's effing go. Raiders on me, Raiders on 3. 1, 2, 3. Raiders. Yours truly, Daniel Mangus, proud made man, 2-time RFR WWE Tag Team Champions of the World. P.S. Murph, Swag, Michelle, just tell us where you're going to be before the Patriots game, and Matthew and I are there hands down. All right, here we go. Nice job. So the Mangus boys are going to be down there. So yeah, and if you're going to be at the game, the Patriots game, then yeah, holler at us, man. So I think we're going to be at the probably our buddy Fabricator Gil's tailgate. I haven't talked to Gil about his tailgate, but I'm assuming he's doing one, and so that's where we'll be. That's typically where we like to hang out prior to the game is with our good buddy Gil, and of course all the just not only the amazing members of Raider Nation, but a lot of times the folks that are affiliated loosely or directly with our show. That's where we go. So we're going to be at Gil's tailgate, and I will let you know where exactly once I get caught up with Gil. All right, last but not least, Got our buddy Paul here. Paul is in Shropshire, Mississippi, otherwise known as the UK. And so we like to feature Paul's emails here at the end. And he says this: "Evening, everybody. Well, what do we have here? It would seem that there was a plan after all, and that Josh McDaniels was telling the truth when he said, we just need to learn how to win. There's been some kind of a light bulb moment in the locker room. There's been a definite shift in attitude and application across the board. Everyone looks unified, and they appear to have found a happy medium that suits the narrative. Nobody is hiding anymore. Body language is positive, and when a mistake is made, nobody hides it from them. They own the situation and put it right. It's incredible how different things feel with a few wins under our belt. On Sunday, after a poor first quarter, we came out fighting on all fronts and sent those sorry-ass Chargers back to San Diego or wherever the hell they come from these days. There were some excellent performances again from the usual suspects, 17, 28, 98, but Chandler Jones finally came to the party in a big way. Hopefully he's got the taste for quarterback flesh again, and now that it's not just a one-off. Certainly on the day, none of us would have expected a Josh Jacobs fumble, Chandler Jones with 3 sacks, and Daniel Carlson missing a field goal. Just a normal day at the Raiders office. I think we get Hunter Renfrow and Darren Waller back for Thursday. Unfortunately not. Andrew Billings is out too. So the run could be special. It could be, but we're not going to, we shouldn't, we're playing really well right now. So we can do it without those gentlemen. We'll just say that. Still not 100% on sold on McDaniels, but there are real signs of progress that I was being an impatient fool. Plus this way, if we end the season at 10-7, playoffs or not, I'll be happy to write him a personal apology letter. Cliff Branch was honored at halftime. More than well-deserved recognition for the great man. I noticed on social media there were a number of Raiders alumni in attendance, and quite right too. Yeah, they'll love seeing that like shot of all those guys. And I mean, Ron Mix and Hendricks and Timmy Brown and Marcus, and there was a bunch of them that were there to honor Cliffy, which is very, very cool. Where are we at? I'd like to have seen more of the presentation, but CBS were having a boo-boo because Herbert wasn't winning, and they were desperately trying to make excuses for him. What is it with this kid that they are so much in love with? Adam Archuleta said in a commentary at one point, there's nobody better scrambling to the right and using such a powerful arm than Herbert. He's obviously never seen Josh Allen play. I want to mention Brett Favre. Here you go. Get him, Paul. Back on July 2nd, he said that Davante Adams' production would drop off because he's not with Aaron Rodgers anymore. Great player was Brett, but his bitterness that Davante left the Packers got the better of him with such an uneducated and insulting comment. At least the Packers have learned to cope without him. Hey, Brett. Oh, wait a minute. It's only natural at this stage for us to all think what could have been this season. If the Raiders are going to release a season review in February, they should call it coulda, woulda, shoulda. The opportunity missed over the first 5 or 6 games is too painful to think about now. Surely the best thing we can do is embrace what is happening and be excited for what could be around the corner. We need to keep progressing, keep the momentum, and point the ship in the right direction. The most important person we have in the organization in the next 6 months is Dave Ziegler. He has some big decisions to make, and I'm hoping he's started the process already. Well, absolutely. He's started from day one. That's why they're visiting UT and watching Hendon Hooker and all that stuff. With the players' contracts and the draft being so crucial, it's going to be fascinating to see how it all pans out. And finally, at this time of year, we're reminded to think of others less fortunate than ourselves, but that would be the Broncos, and they're just the gift that keeps on giving, so screw them. Stay safe, RFR family. Love you, Raider Nation. His Lordship, the Royal Scribe, Paul Edgerton, Shropshire, Mississippi, Polly Award winner 2019 and 2022, Foggy Glasses Award winner 2020, BRT Sizzler scorekeeper, proud made man, 5-time ×2 winner of the Raiders Fan Radio BRT Sizzler Award.
Paul, your name Paul? Hello? Paul. Hello. Paul.
Paul.
I met him with Paul. Who? Paul. Paul, yes, Paul.
Paul's not here. Hey, Paul. Paul.
Hi. I'm Paul.
Darn right you are, Paul. We appreciate you for holding it down for the emailers, man. Those are always awesome and appreciate you. Let's see who we got in the chat room tonight. We got Tyrone is in there, Corey Fleck, Jesse Cardenas, Fargo Raider is in there, Animal Mother is in there. Let's see, Chevy Silver Raider is in there, Ray Love, Atticus B. Rockin, Raider Born Rico, Big Bass Raider is in there. We appreciate you. Vibrator's in there. What's up, baby? CPA Joel is in there. We appreciate you very, very much. Bugsy. I can only scroll up so far, so I can't see everybody, but appreciate you. Incredible. Tales by Diesel. We appreciate you, Raider Roo. Appreciate you very, very much. All right, so those are the emails. So let's go ahead and get to the voice. Raider Kojo is in there. Let's go ahead and jump into the voicemails. And so for those of you that have been around long enough, you know I started Raiders Fan Radio, this version of it, in 2016 with my cousin Sonny. We've been podcasting together since really 2012, but we started this version of Raiders Fan Radio in 2016. And so now he is back to lead off the voicemailers. So let's go ahead and check in with my cousin and yours, Sonny.
Murph, cousin Sonny over here in the not-so-sunny Pacific Northwest. What up to Swaggo, the O? What up to Michelle and all the fellow made men? What up to the chat? You know, Murph, I used to call in to say hello to you. Now you got all these freaking followers and this little carnival you carry around with you. Murph, you got some love this week on Raiders Beat. It highlighted you as having a sensible take on Derek Carr and his leadership. And Murph, I got to commend you, man. You've always had a level head in the midst of a fanatical fan base. You know, when you look at a fanatic and a fan, that's what we all are. It's our job to get crazy. It's our job to go nuts. It's our job to crush people to get fired and crush people to get hired. But if we're not careful in that, we can take the fun out of it. And then what are we doing, right? If you dread Sundays and you find that the Raiders win and you're still mad, that's on you. That's not on the Raiders, you know? And so, Murph, I thank you for always helping me have a sensible take when it comes to the Raiders. Derek Carr throws a pick six and overcomes it. That's leadership. To not lose his shit, to maintain focus, and get the job done. How many times, Murph, have you or anybody listening to this call right now done anything perfect in their life? But it's all about getting the job done. And that's what these Raiders are doing right now, right? Josh Jacobs, JJ Jacobs. He freaking just continues to freaking kick ass, man. And then our defense, like, who's this rookie named Chandler Jones? Where did he come from? He's amazing. Was this his first game playing this year? I think they should play him more. But the bottom line, Murph, you helped me realize this, and I'm a therapist. I should get better at this. They're people. Derek Carr, Devontae Adams, they're all people. And as people, they're just dudes. And we get down, we get up, we f*** up, we step up. But at the end of the day, the Raiders and the people on the Raiders are my team. I'm going to keep rooting for them. I don't care how we win. Just win, baby. Remember what the Raiders said? Don't win pretty. Don't win by 50. Don't win by not throwing pick six. Just win, baby.
All right, there he is, Cousin Sonny. Appreciate the kind words, as always, Cousin Sonny, and I love his takes, and that's why we did a show together, because we had complimentary takes. Sonny and I don't always completely align up, but that's a good thing, and that's what we thought would make some interesting radio or interesting broadcasting. And so appreciate Cousin Sonny kicking it off there, and appreciate him highlighting the Raiders Beat thing. And the Raiders Beat folks have been very kind to us here at Raiders Fan Radio as of late. And so if you follow them on Twitter or follow their blog or anything, there's now a couple times now that they've highlighted some of the things that we've talked about here at Raiders Fan Radio. So appreciate those folks. And again, appreciate Sonny for calling in and holding down and kicking off the segment. All right, next up, let's go. This is fun. So we have, for those of you that are new to the show, we have incredibly creative callers. And one of my favorite things about Raider Nation is where what creativity happens and what you choose to do with your fandom, like what manifests, right? And so like it could be doing something like this, could be doing a podcast, could be art, like all this amazing art that we have here in the fan cave when we're in the wide shot there. So many amazing pieces that have been sent to us, and you know, from Fargo Raider just sent that one tonight, right? He did the Taminator thing. So that comes out that way. It comes out in music, right? We see our buddy Graf, Z, right? There's a lot of different guys that do music with the radio. Anyway, so a lot of different creativity. Well, one of the ways that we celebrate around here is with your calls. So we get people singing, we get people, you know, doing impressions, reenacting movies, all that kind of stuff. Well, in this case, we've got a new impression. So let's welcome into the show now, not Gordon Ramsay, but Rorden Gamzee.
Hello, Raiders Fan Radio. This is Ramen Gordsey. Right, last time we all went out fooding, it was at a drive-thru with the Mangus Boys. Well, today we are going in search of the best area barbecue chicken. It all starts by pulling out your best silver and black skillets. Then when you pull out that chicken, you need to make sure it's full of flesh and healthy because you don't want to hear any excuses in the end. Then you take the chicken and you dress it up, maybe with a light yellow seasoning and a touch of powder blue. Make sure when you grease the pan that you put a couple of lightning bolts designs in there. Now, when you cook the chicken, make sure to run them all around in the skillet so they get all nice and cooked all the way through. Throw a little pressure on top of the Herbert butter so that it all melts perfectly. Add some Josh Jacobs spice to let them know where the boss is. It's the kind of spice that you know is coming, but you can't stop it anyway. Then you put the finishing touch on it, the Devante spice. This one will burn you if you're not careful, as Los Angeles found out this past week. Once you have everything ready, you serve it up to your guests. And the first serving, a nice heaping serving, should go to Chargers receiver Keenan Allen, making no mistake that this is the way barbecue chicken is done, at the expense of the Chargers defense. So enjoy, and we hope to come back again with another fantastic recipe, perhaps next time, braised lamb. This has been Ramen Gordsey. Bon appetit, Raider Nation.
All right, there he is, Ramen Gordsey. Nicely done. The chat, everybody's talking about when they first started listening to the show, and I love it. Ron says he's been listening since at least episode 270. And he writes, first-time listener, long-time Materator. So normally Ron's saying that he doesn't ever listen to the show. He just jumps in the chat and just makes sure that nobody says anything bad. I love that. That's hilarious, Ron. And appreciate everybody that's and now Rico's talking about how he's been with us since back in 2016 when he got his first smartphone. Love that. And appreciate everybody that's been with us. All you day one folks. We appreciate you very, very much. All right. But our new listeners and supporters as well. All right, let's check in next. Oh, so speaking of not new per se, but definitely of recent, and has quickly climbed the charts as one of our favorites around here. And you're all of our favorites, but we appreciate this guy so much for his passionate takes and calls and funny stories. Let's check in with our buddy down there in LA. He is Animal Mother.
This is Animal Mother calling in from rainy Southern California. You guys are going to get a rare stone cold sober post-game call from me. I had to work today with my reserve unit, and we're coming out of the field. So unfortunately, I've not been able to drink a beer today. And I had to miss the first chunk of the game. And I caught the end of the third and most of the fourth from my phone. Murph, I know you're trying to retire, man, but I got to say, let's go. All about that. I can't think of a team I wanted to beat more this season. I work with a bunch of newfound Chargers fans. They're just grating. I listened to a couple other podcasts. I listened to, like Locked On Raiders in the mornings. They did a crossover episode last week. And I don't know the guy's name, but the Chargers guy, his voice, it was a voice that I wanted to hit in the face. The guy sounded like a character from Family Guy. I'm going to listen to his podcast tomorrow, too, on my way home, because I just want to hear him whine. He was so smug and confident and just writing this off. And, yeah, nothing's better than that. Allegiant Stadium is where the Chargers season goes to die. I'm good with that. G. Sarator, again, fucking hate him, man. I knew he was gonna reverse that catch. But I know it's not his fault, but you know what? It's his fault. That would have been probably game-ending catch from Adams, but man, it is what it is. Good to see the team come together and not blow it, not blow a close game. I thought we were going to try, giving up that 35-yard touchdown on what was it? It was like 4th and 12. It pissed me off, but whatever, man. A win's a win by an inch or by a mile, and a win against the Chargers should be worth 2 games. I hate them that much, but it is what it is. So driving home. Got the game recorded, gonna go rewatch it, bask in it, put a couple of beers down, maybe fire up a stogie, and yeah, we're gonna have another victory Monday. Gonna be at the game with my brother, CPA Joel, on Thursday, getting out of work early, so a lot to look forward to. Good week at work of me verbally harassing all the Bolts fans, and then hopefully I can get the other half of the fake fans on Thursday with the fucking bandwagon Rams fans who are trash. So let's go, Raiders.
All right, here he is, Animal Mother. Love it. Good stuff there. Yeah, you talk about being in enemy territory nowadays. You know what I mean? We got the Chargers one week and the Rams the next week. And, oh, yeah, NFL, you moved the wrong team to Los Angeles. Because, yeah, we know that Raider Nation owns Southern California. All right, next up, let's check in with our buddy. Speaking of L.A., but not Los Angeles, we're talking Lower Alabama. Let's check in with our buddy Josh in the 703.
Hey, fam. Hey, Murph. Let's go.
Ah, jeez.
Let's go. Raiders. That's how you do it. Man, what a game, bruh. Chandler Jones was getting it today. I don't know what the hell they shot his ass up with. Give him some more. That shit was good. Devontae Adams making it look easy. Carr, I always want to say, I like to be fair. The interception by Carr, I think it could have been a better throw. But that was P.I. There's no way in hell you can't tell me that's not P.I. or holding or something. He's pushing the man's head down. And they're like, no, that's not. It's like, you know what? I'll say one thing also. I respect Josh McDaniels. Like, I give him a little respect because last week when that 12th man was on the field for the Seahawks, you know, he was sitting there like, we're the Raiders. We're not going to get that call. Yeah, right, we're not. So that's why you got to go out there and persevere and whoop their ass. Justin Herbert looking like he wanted to cry and shit. Saw him at the podium. Man, hey, I'm about to go into work. I'm pumped. I'm ready to talk shit. It is what it is. I hope y'all have a great weekend. I know it's a short week, so, you know, but really looking forward. I don't know if you guys, I think y'all still have a show this week? I think so. How many left for?
Yeah, like 3 of them.
One more thing to Keenan Allen. Barbecue chicken, baby. And man, the Billy Goat.
All right, there he is. Josh down in the 703. I always love his takes. I always love how he ends his calls, too, with F somebody. Let's see. I could do it like this one. I think I got a censor button. Yeah, I could say whoever. So in this case, how about man? Baker Mayfield. All right, next up, let's check in with our buddy out in the Canary Islands. Let's check in with the Italian-born, but more importantly, as he will tell you, Raider-born Rico.
Hey guys, Raider Rico here. So happy, really happy that the boys put in practice what I wanted. We showed them we were superior and we make them feel uncomfortable. That's what I was telling you the last time. They've done it, I love it. And another big match on Thursday. I mean, it's another old school rivalry thing. And I want to see that. I want to see old school Raider football, as I told you before. It doesn't really matter if we're going to win at this point. I don't care. I just want to see some good old football by the Raiders, signed by Raiders style. That's what I want to see. Anyway, to all of you, Raider Nation, I think this week the main meal is going to be barbecue chicken. And we're going to eat a lot. Love you all. Cheers to all of you. And I'm out.
All right. Cheers to you, Rico. If you've got a beverage, hoist it high, Raider Nation. Let's salute with our good friend Rico out there in the Canary Islands. We appreciate you. My girl Valerie in the chat says that's moist, as the kids say. Oh my gosh, we get the best comments when Rico's calls come in. That is so funny. But definitely we appreciate you, Rico, and salute, my friend. All right. Next up, let's go to our buddy. Speaking of Southern California, there he is, Raiderborn Rico there in the chat room. Says, raise the glasses, nation. Let's go. Storm says, why are my pants unbuckled? That's so funny. Oh my gosh. That's so funny. What's up, Big Boy Mario? He just jumped in there. All right, let's go next up. Let's go back to Southern California, and let's check in with our good buddy down there in Santa Barbara. He is Kevin, the Raider Nerd.
What up, Murph? What up, Swaggo? And, of course, what up, Michelle? This is Kevin, the Raider Nerd. Haven't called in a little while. Before our little 3-game winning streak, I was down the dumps. I was holding that Raiders Truth Chicken and just quivering in a corner, and I was in a bad spot. But more on that in a second. I just want to say I'm back from my 3-week Australia trip with my wife and visiting her friends and family, of course. Had a great time down there. I want to give a shout-out to Rossi. Great Raiders fan. Check him out on Twitter, Rossi Biddle. He hooked me up with an NFL package, so I was able to watch the games down there. The Sunday games are like, I think, 8 and 5 in the morning on Monday, depending on the time slot. So I was up. I was watching. By the way, Swaggo, just if you're ever in Australia, check out Culture Kings and Rebel Sports. They're both chain stores down there in Australia, and they got Raider gear in there. So make sure you check it out. Culture Kings has got some really cool stuff, and I got this really cool Golf Raiders cap. It was really nice. And they got some really nice high-end stuff that has Raider stuff on there. So Raiders are loved down under. Make sure you check them out. I just want to mention that over the last few weeks, before the winning streak that we have here, thank God we beat the Chargers, and we're on a little streak here. I was down the dumps like all you guys, and you know what? I decided that any Raider football is good football to watch. It takes me to a special place, no matter how bad they're playing. I just love that 3-hour time spot there, and I've been posting on Twitter and Facebook, FR Record. And as soon as I started doing that, I started winning. So FR Record, go Raiders, and like you've been saying, Murph, support the Raiders that are the Raiders now. Don't always hang on the past and on the future. Support them now, love them, and I'll take them any way I can, just like our family. So anyway, keep supporting our Raiders. Don't be mean at each other too. Don't contribute to that Twitter cesspool out there. And also too, I just want to mention that I scored a ticket. A friend of mine hooked me up. Got a ticket for Thursday night Raiders-Rams game at SoFi Stadium. But thanks to SoFi, I can't wear my Mandalorian armor in my helmet because they hate Raider Nation. So I'm going to have to get a little creative and dress up another way. But I've got an idea. So look out for me there. You guys are doing a great job. Sorry I've been missing your live shows. The schedule's been real crazy. And, of course, been in Australia and such. But I've been donating directly to the One Nation Foundation.
Thank you, Kevin.
To help you guys out. Anyway, this is Kevin, the Raider Nerd. I am out. Go Raiders!
You're the best, Kev. Appreciate you, man. And I saw those donations and those direct donations in via the website at onenationfoundation.net. And if you want to donate directly, you can donate to the One Nation Foundation there. It avoids Google taking their cut, which can be significant, or not could be. It always is. It's like 30%. And so as much as we love super chats and all that good stuff here, if you want to make, if you're doing a year-end donation, this is the time of year, folks are given to those less fortunate. And so we would appreciate if you would consider the One Nation Foundation as part of your giving. Then you can just go to onenationfoundation.net and you can hit the donate button. It'll take you directly to PayPal. And then 100% of that money just goes straight into the One Nation Foundation. And just real quick before we get into this last call, for those of you that don't know what the One Nation Foundation does, our nonprofit, well, it benefits Raiders-related charities. We've given to numerous charities over the years. Our biggest area of giving has always been to the Bolitnikoff Foundation, and the Bolitnikoff Foundation really enables two places. It's number one is Tracy's Place of Hope, which was built in honor of Fred Bolitnikoff's daughter, who was taken from us way too soon. And so Tracy's Place of Hope provides rehabilitative services and safe place for young women at risk of domestic violence or substance abuse. And then now the Bolitnikoff Foundation also has the Bolitnikoff Center of Hope, which is a place for counseling for those same young women. So basically, not only are they seeing them through to recovery, but then also building life skills and whatnot, and they're doing the work, right? In terms of like then the mental skills and those kinds of things that you need to take into life to be able to continue that path of success. So it's not just about the recovery and then turning them loose. It's then rehabilitating them, emotionally, mentally, and whatnot, to be able to foster their success and their own success that's sustainable post their recovery. So it's a phenomenal couple of entities there that are under the umbrella of the Bolitnikoff Foundation, and that's where a majority of your money goes from the One Nation Foundation. But we have also given to other Raiders-related charities as well. And so again, thank you to all of you, and thank you to Kevin, and thank you to everybody in the chat and otherwise. And if you can't, donate, you can't participate monetarily, that's okay. We just ask that you give us a like, give us a thumbs up, hit a subscribe button, give us a review on iTunes, just, retweet. There's any of that kind of stuff. You can help us get the message out, because by doing that, we get increased advertising opportunities. And with all the advertising money we make around here, same thing. 100% of that money goes to the One Nation Foundation. So thank you very, very much, all of those of you. Appreciate you. Cannot thank you enough for what you do to support us in that way. All right, last up, let's check in with our good buddy down in Texas. We call him the Houstorian, and he is Houston Raiders Steve.
Murph, Mosh, Swag, Jeff Nation, Houston Raiders Steve. Boy, those announcers that called Greg Doble and that other dude that called the Chargers game against us, they were horrible. I wanted to say, go out and get a room. You have got such a love thing for this Herbert, or whatever his name is. Anyway, it was so bad. Man, it was so bad. Hey, where was Khalil Mack during this game? Where was this all-world player we kept hearing about all the time? I didn't hear his name mentioned. He got in on a couple tackles, but they were like 5 or 6 yards down from the play. Josh Jacobs, what a great game. Another great game. Man, he should be MVP, in my opinion. He went through that defense like I go through enchiladas and tamales con carne at Christmas, my friend. He just blew through that thing, man. They look like they were the JV wannabe Chargers. Yeah, they're never even going to be Los Angeles' team. There's not even San Diego's team. They're the misfit toys. Anyway, man, great game. Just want to say we're back, baby. I'm so proud of our team. And all I can say is go Raiders. You can say what you want about Derek Carr. We all know the truth. He's our leader. That speech that he gave and everything after the Bronco game, and they were saying, DC, DC. Hey, that all goes to show it. He's got the team. We're coming back. Go Raiders. Hey, by the way, y'all are awesome. Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. We're going to go out and beat the Lambs. We're going to run the table. We're even going to beat the Chiefs. Goodbye.
All right, nice job, Houston Raiders Steve. All right, I always love how he ends his calls. Goodbye. We appreciate you very, very much, Houston Raiders Steve, and appreciate everybody that called in tonight or emailed the show tonight. So what we do is we award a Sizzler Award for the best email or phone caller. That is Swag Jeff's duty when he is here. But in his absence, I would then give it to Michelle. But Michelle's not here. So, but Michelle is here, though. She's in the chat. So then it falls to me. But I don't like to make these things on my own. So I would tell you, I've got a couple in my mind. But chat room, let me hear from you. Who do you think was the best of the best tonight that we can award a Sizzler to? So of the emailers, we had Fargo Raider, who kicked it off. Then we had Daniel Menges. And then we had Silver and Black Mac. And then we had Paul that ended out the emailers there. And then of the voicemails, Sonny's ineligible, so we won't give it to Sonny, but Rorden Gamsey was in there with a great call. Animal Mother was in there with a great call, talking about how he's going to freaking take on the other half of the fake fans in Los Angeles. Josh in the 703, always with a great call. Raider Born Rico in there had the music bumping and freaking great takes as always from Rico. Kevin the Raider Nerd, I thought, had an excellent call and with a lot of great takes in there, and really appreciate him highlighting the One Nation Foundation. And then, of course, we finished it off there with Houston Raiders Steve. All right, so let's see what we got in there coming up. And the first few names I see popping up in here who we're going to go with. So I see what Raider Born Rico says, Animal Mother. That was one of the ones I had in mind. Fargo Raider. We got from Elaine Burger in there. Gordon Ramsay had me rolling there from Fargo. All right, so we got a three-way tie in there so far. Kevin, Steve, or Rico. Kevin was another one. I thought Kevin's was great. Kevin, Steve, or Gordon Ramsay, another vote in there for Gordon. All right, I'm thinking, there's another one there for Gordon Ramsay. All right, so here we go. So this week's Sizzler Award goes to, I'm going to give 2. All right, we're going to get 2 awards tonight. We're going to give a lot of Gamsey. There they are flying in now. So what I'm going to give 2. I'm going to give 1 to Kevin the Raider Nerd, and then and write this down, Paul. 1 to Kevin the Raider Nerd, and then 1 to Rorden Gamsey. And we appreciate you all very, very much.
I am the Sizzler.
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 Sizzler. Sizzler. Sizzler.
Sizzler.
We are Metallica, and we are here for your Oakland Raiders!
You know why we out here, and we ain't playing around today.
From The Walking Dead to errant Jedi Knights, Raiders fans are a rogues gallery.
Oh, ha, 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 ha. Oh, ho, ho. Ha, ha. Oh, hee ha. A lot of votes in there for Rico, too. Those kind of came in after I said, I don't know if y'all think, and Paul's the royal scribe in there, but, I think it makes it less special when we just give a million of these things out. But if we need to include Rico in there, I'm not opposed, man, because Rico's calls are always so incredible. And so we appreciate you very, very much. Title Raiders in there says, all love and respect are for our family. We love and respect you too, my friend. Big Bass Raider is also in there. Raider Born Rico, as I mentioned. Lalo is in there. Paul. Fargo Raider. Corey Fleck is in there. Trinidad. What's up, Trin? Storm is in there. Jesse Cardenas. Tyrone Graves. Big Bass Raider. So many of our good friends. Of course, Michelle. Of course, Ron. My girl Valerie's in there. We appreciate all of you joining us tonight and supporting this little thing that we do here called Raiders Fan Radio. All right, as if 2 nights in a row weren't enough, we'll see you tomorrow night. Check out Silver and Black today. I'll be making my Voice of the Fan appearance, of course, with Mo Moten and Scott Gilbranson. And so appreciate you very, very much for checking out not only these 2 shows here, but checking out what we do over there and support it in that way. And thank you to all of you that have come to Raiders Fan Radio by discovering what we do via the Silver and Black Today show. All right, so appreciate everybody tonight, all these amazing voicemails and emails. Appreciate all the support of the One Nation Foundation. And hey, let's go. No. Yes, sir. I'm retiring. Let's go. I like Let's Go. I still pops out of me once in a while. But I'm trying. It's like it's everywhere. And I love it that you guys are giving me crap too with your calls and stuff. I actually like saying Let's Go. That's funny. But so, anyways, I'm gonna go with yes, sir. I'm gonna go with the Luke Masterson. Yes, sir. So appreciate you very much. And tomorrow night, let's take out the Lambs. We're gonna go to 6-7. Then we're going to be playing the Patriots in Allegiant to take this thing back to 7-7, get us to 500. going to be freaking Josh McDaniels versus the hoodie. So many implications going on with this thing. Like, there's going to be a lot of mustard on this one. Look forward to watching it with you, Raider Nation. Look forward to seeing you all in Vegas. We're off next week, so nothing going on next week because we're going to be doing a ton of traveling. We'll probably have some videos and things to throw out there at you, but no RFR next week. We'll be back the week after we get back from Vegas. So thank you all again very, very much for everything. Appreciate you joining in tonight, and we love you. Go Raiders.